Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Chat with KST. Today is Tuesday, November the 21st. And the reason why I'm saying good morning is because it's literally 4:29 where I'm at. So, yeah, 4:29 a.m. So, yeah, we're up pretty early this morning. We didn't get to do a show yesterday, but today we are going to jump into our first podcast episode of the week. Now, we start off our podcast episodes with a quote for the day that should the thought process behind this is that the quote of the day the quote of the day should inspire you. It should, plant some seeds in your head that would like help you, in life and stuff like that. So, anyway, today's quote of the day is from an Instagram page called Hustlers Motivational Goals. And the quote says, the quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. You can't go learn to drive in a parked car, right? So when you think of it, it's like that it actually makes sense, right? If you have a problem, if you have a task, something that you have to do and you don't know quite how to do it, start on the parts that you do know how to do and research and and work your way through it and actually get to where it is that you want to be, whether it's you want to solve a problem, whether it's a new career or a new venture, whatever it is. Maybe it's developing a relationship with someone that you may be struggling with at this point. Whatever it is, whatever the issues may be, you want to start fixing those issues, and answers will just naturally come to you once you start the process of doing, right? But anyway, um we're going to jump into our topics, but I do want to like call myself out a little bit in the fact that Ciara, right? I really and truly, as a person, I don't know if I've said it on my podcast, but me, I've counted Ciara out of like the R&B girlies, feeling like, hey, she's up in age, not that she's up in age. I shouldn't say that because Ciara is beautiful and I really don't know how old she is, but like she has grown, right? And she does have children. So it's like every time when I hear her like drop a new song or something, I'd be like, because she did something with Lola Brooke. She tried to do something with Lola Brooke and it didn't quite hit. And I feel like Sierra does like try sometimes, and it's like, Sierra, like, this is not it. So it was a little bit surprising that I'm like driving in my car and I hear her song come on. I'm like, this is how we roll. You know what it is, like that. And I'm like, wow, like Cece really did it again. And that's just to show you that, everything that you do in life is not going to be laced with perfection. It's not going to be laced with validation. However, do what you love, stick to it, and then there will be that thing that connects with people that will then give you what you essentially want. But never like give up on yourself, basically, is also what I wanted to like kind of say, because I really and truly, I just found myself bump into this is how we roll, and I'm like, what's going on? Because this is not you. But let's jump into some things. We're here for the celebrities. um for those of you who don't know, this is your first time visiting our podcast. This is an entertainment podcast where we sit down and we discuss the topics. We discuss the celebrities and everything that they got going on. We have the video podcast on YouTube, and the audio podcast on the podcast platforms. Now, let's jump into it. For those of you who are on YouTube, yes, on the screen is Jada Pickett Smith, and she addresses the rumors with Will Smith having sex with Dwayne Martin, right? And how she plans to sue. Now, real quick, guys, do you guys remember the whole interview of his best friend slash assistant that Tasha K Unwind with Tasha K decided to do and all of that. And it kind of went viral, right? With this guy saying he walked in on Dwayne Martin, quote unquote, not my words, the assistant's words to be exact. And I think his name is Babel. I forget his name, but he said he walked in on Dwayne murdering Will Smith. So that did raise everyone's like antennas, like what is going on over at the Smiths household. Now, with that being said, right when that clip went viral, with that young man, the best friend slash assistant, saying that he saw Will Smith getting murdered, Jada Pinkett Smith showed up at the Breakfast Club like the next day. Jada's like, "Look, we're clearing this up," and this is what she had to say.
Shoot down every rumor there's ever been about y'all. That y'all are swingers, that y'all
Yeah.
were both gay and playing each other's biz, that y'all were sleeping with whomever you choose.
Yeah.
How does it feel in 2023 to still have those same rumors out about people you love, like Will and Dwayne?
I know.
That just came out too recently.
Yeah, and let me just say this. It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a money shakedown that didn't work. We're going to take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories.
Mhm.
So that's actionable. So we're going to roll with that. But yeah,
Say, leave it alone. Don't go no
somebody in the
further.
yeah.
Oh,
No, nobody
oh,
said
oh.
anything. It's so for me, unfortunately, it's part of it. You know what I mean? It's not true. We gonna take care of it, and that's that.
How does
so
Will
there was a money shakedown prior?
Oh yeah, it was a money
Oh, they tried to
shakedown.
extort you before? Or like-
Well, it's based around this person's idea that they in some way were doing business around Will's book, and that they spent money or what have you, and that they needed to be compensated. So he already tried to do this money shakedown. Will was willing to give him a certain amount or what have you, and he didn't take it. So this whole situation is based on that.
Give them a certain amount. Why though? Just
Well, because of some business that they had, and I don't know the complete details about it, but that's about to come out because, like I told you, about to take legal action.
you should.
Yeah, no, we are for sure.
I was asking how's Will dealing with it. With
Oh,
does he
We saw
laugh
his
it
Rex
off?
release a statement.
Will. Here's one good thing about Will. Will's always gonna find the funny.
I figured that.
Yeah, he's always gonna find the funny. You know what I'm saying? And so
y'all laughed at the murder, kill.
We yeah. You have to because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so all you have is you just gotta laugh about it, and it's unfortunate because
did he ask you like, do I look like I give off bottom energy?
He was like, do you believe this shit? But we just laughed about it.
In the No Soccer Mom chapter, right? You shoot down every rumor there's ever been about y'all.
All right, let's jump into it, Miss Jada. It's I swear, it's not looking good for Jada. And the reason why I say it's not looking good for Jada, and I do apologize for those of you who are watching this on YouTube and it's a little bit glitchy. I don't know if it's like my Wi-Fi or what, but the clip is a little bit glitchy. I'll see through the show if it continues like that. I'll just do a different show. But anyway, let's jump back into this. It's looking a little bit sketchy for Jada Pinkett Smith because even as she's speaking, like, understand that I think it's like 10% of your communication is verbal. Everything else that you do is nonverbal. And you pick, like, as people, we pick up on energy. We can tell when someone is lying. We can tell when someone is covering. We can tell when someone isn't being authentic. And I feel like when we're in these vulnerable spaces and we like jump up and do something without having all the information, we can essentially tell on ourselves sometimes, right? We can tell on ourselves sometimes, and that even like goes into the Diddy Cassie situation that we're going to be discussing later on in the show, where I feel like sometimes when accusations are made, people jump the gun. And even though like even though the accusations are made, let the facts come out, like, and then go into defense. Don't just be in defense and then be like, all right, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Because when you do that, it's like, what are you hiding in those bag of tricks, right? It's like, let's say you're driving your car, right? And let's say you don't want to get pulled over by the cops or whatever. If you don't want to get pulled over by the cops, you got to be chilled. There's no reason why you should be biting your nails, looking over at what the cop is doing, seeing if he's coming to get you. Like, it gives off like you have something to hide. Now, with that analogy out the way, I watched the interview on online with Tasha K with brother Bilal Babel. I can't remember his name, but I did watch the interview with the former best friend slash assistant. And let me tell you, people out here are catching strays. When I say catching strays, I don't mean like he's intentionally trying to bring people down. It's just like in the process of telling stories and information that he has found out over the 40 years of being around the Smiths, names just come up, names you ain't want to come up. Lisa Ray and her husband came up. People are, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Who took Lisa Ray husband? Dwayne Martin did what? He stole her husband? Ah! It just be a lot of strays that I think people caught during that interview. And I also feel like those people behind the scenes who were like felt hurt by the Smiths probably feel vindicated through this interview. Now, I want to see if the Smiths actually sue this guy. That is what I want to see. If they actually sue this guy. Because if you guys don't sue this guy, Jada sitting up here doing this, they may call your bluff. They may call your bluff. Now, there is a couple things. Do you guys want to go over the interview? Let me go over the interview real quick. I took my notes. I sure did take my notes. So a couple things that if you guys haven't watched the interview, let me just tell you a couple things that the best friend, Will Smith's best friend slash former assistant, said. So basically, you remember Jada Pickett's new book that came out where she was doing all those different interviews saying, hey, her and Will have been separated. Well, guess what? He said that Jada rushed to put out this book because she knew he was going to be dropping his book, his tell all, in December. So here is Jada, here's the best friend slash former assistant about to drop his book in December. Jada hears about that and she drops hers, right? So he wanted to make that clear that, hey, I already have my book coming out. He says him and Will became friends because I guess Will or some guy in Will's entourage had gotten into a fight and he ended up lying and covering for Will, which kind of opened that gateway to friendship, right? He also says that Jada was allegedly like the pretty girl, but she had a sex addiction. And you know, he felt like she slept her way to the top. He also mentions that Jada Pickett Smith has a drug addiction. And again, this is all alleged. I don't know these things to be fact. I am just relaying to you what the former assistant slash best friend said. So if anyone wants to get sued, it should be him, not me for talking about it. Anyway, back to this. He says that she um is allegedly, or was allegedly, at one point in their friendship, and this is kind of what like really, not really started the bad blood between the best friend and Jada Pinkett Smith, but it was one of the obstacles that they had to go over, where Jada was addicted to prescription drugs. She got her prescription, and when she got her prescription, she ran out and she wanted the best friend, brother Bilal, to go and get prescription, and he was like, hell no. Isn't it sounding for this like the same thing like the Cassie and Diddy situation with the being addicted to prescription drugs and want other people to go and get the prescription for you? I was like, it's given Diddy and Cassie, but let's move on. He also said that Jada is searching for excitement because she has it all, and Will is complicit in the things that she do, because she keeps his secrets, right? So what's going on with Jada right now, he says, is she's rich, she has it all, she has everything at her toes, so she doesn't really have much excitement in her life, and because of that, she seeks for that excitement. And as she seeks for that excitement, to whatever lengths that she may go, Will Smith is going to support her. And the reason why Will Smith is supporting her is because, hey, they've been married for so long. Jada knows Will Smith's secrets. Now, he alleges that the first wife, the Will Smith's first wife, and I think her name is Cherie, um, they had problems going on in their relationship before Jada Pinkett Smith entered into the relationship. So this guy was around before Jada was even, was even there. So I feel like that was even something I wanted to note. He says that basically Will and his first wife was having problems because there was rumors that Will Smith was having sex with so basically, for those of you who watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is based on someone's life, right? And Will Smith was allegedly having sexual intercourse with the young man's life that he was portraying on TV, right? So he was the actor, the other guy was the real person in real life, the real Fresh Prince, and Will had sex with that guy, and or allegedly had sex with that guy, and because he allegedly had sex with that guy, his first wife, Cherie, and him were having problems, and that's just about the same time that Jada started to enter in the picture. Jada was the pretty, sexy girl who had a sex addiction, who got her claws into Will basically, and she did what she did. But it seemed as if, based on what he was saying, was that Will Smith was the pursuer as it relates to Jada and his marriage. So this guy alleges that he walked in, and not walked in, but he was on set because he is the assistant. He looks like he takes care of things as it relates to the production of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, production of movies that Will has done. So he's naturally always on set. And one day he was on set, I think, of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he says, hey, Will kissed this guy. And as Will kissed this guy, like, he's looking like, whoa, what's going on? Why is Will kissing this guy? And he's like, no one says anything. Everybody's doing what they're doing, acting like they don't see Will Smith kissing this guy. And this is like earlier on in Will's, in Will's career. Now, he says Will had to play a gay man in a movie, and when he had to play a gay guy in a movie, and this is all chronological order, I was just taking down my notes as he was going. He said, as Will had to play this gay guy in a movie, what happened is because Will is the type of actor that he loves to get into character. And as he was getting into character, Will exposed himself to certain things, right? He would watch how gay people act. He would watch certain type of sexual content that with men on men to kind of get into the mindset of someone who is quote unquote gay, right? Just so that um he can perform well in the movie. He said that he felt, this is the assistant words, he felt like Will shouldn't have agreed to do that movie because a lot of times he would see Will do certain things, play certain roles or whatever, and he's like, why do these people have Will Smith doing this, right? So it seems like some of the things, and this is just a separate thought of mine away from what this best friend said. We're gonna call him, just for the sake of this, and we can stay on topic. We're gonna call the best friend slash assistant for 40 years. We're gonna call him Brother B. Let's just call him Brother B, just to have that name for him. But I feel like, just to address the separate thought that I was having, I feel like we all talk about how contrived things are as it relates to Hollywood and how these things are meant to manipulate us as people, open us up to things that aren't really innate for us, right? And through repetition and whatever, it'll start to grow on us, right? And I think the people above whatever, they do their research into humans, and they know how to persuade us, how to influence us, how to get us to do things, want things, change our point of views. So I think the industry already knows that, the movie industry already knows that, and I feel like there are certain agendas that they have, the not just the music industry, the movie industry as well. And I feel like that's why Will was put in certain places that he was put in. He talks about even Will Smith always doing like the slave shows and stuff like that, the slave movies and stuff like that. So it's not just about him playing the gay role. But anyway, let's move on to some other things that he said. Um, he felt like Will was groomed to be gay, because of the training of the movie. He knows allegedly he knows that Will Smith is bisexual because he walked in on him and Dwayne Martin, and again we watched that clip go viral. Um, I did put a note here and I highlighted it, and I was like, I think it's rather scary how well Brother B claims Will Smith treated him and paid him just to kind of turn around and do this. And again, I was doing it in chronological order, so I didn't have the full scope of the story, but I'm like sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, he's talking about how early on in his career, how Will was nice to him, Will paid him well. And once you were around Will, you got the Will Smith experience. You were going here, you were enjoying things. You didn't have to spend your own money. Like you'd literally get paid, tuck your money away in your savings, and you will still be able to live such a wonderful life because you were so in close proximity. I can never say that word, I'm going to get my tongue tied. But because you were close to Will, you'd get all these benefits and perks. And I'm like, all right, dude, well, if that be the case, then why are you out here on Tasha K's platform telling all of this man's business, right? But we'll address the reason for that later on. So let me see, what does this one say? Dwayne Martin's story. Will had him watching Martin because Martin was sleeping with Lisa Ray's husband. Okay, so I guess Dwayne Martin, how he found out about walking in on Dwayne Martin and Will Smith having sex allegedly is that Will Smith called Brother B up, right, Bestie up, and said, "Hey, I need you to be on set to produce, not to produce, but to be on set for this, that, and the third, this set that Dwayne Martin is working on, right? And I need you there so I need you there to be there so that you can work, right?" But what Brother B, later on realizes that Will Smith didn't want Brother B there to work. He actually wanted Brother B there to watch what Dwayne Martin was doing, because allegedly Dwayne Martin was sleeping with Lisa Ray's husband. So I don't know how that story goes, but even Tasha K said, Lisa Ray said it out of her own mouth, that Dwayne Martin took her husband. Again, this interview was a 2-hour interview, so it's a lot of information to dissect. So let's just jump through it. He said, okay, and the question that I had when this viral clip went forward was like, okay, you said you walked in on Dwayne Martin murdering Will. Like, what did you do? Like, did you stay? Did you watch? Did you pop a glass of champagne and entertain yourself? And what he said was, when he walked in on Will and Martin while on set, so basically Will Smith hires him to go on set, work for Dwayne Martin to help around on the set, while Brother B is giving Will Smith all the information as to what's going down. Will Smith flies in, and now Will is on set, Brother B is on set, Dwayne Martin is on set, everybody's on set, but and usually the lunch is I think he said about an hour or whatever. He said you have a pretty good lunch, right? And lunch is supposed to go uninterrupted. Like, you should be interrupted for lunch. However, Will Smith was not only an actor, but he was a producer on this set. So they needed producer lens for whatever they were looking at. And they called Brother B to go and get Will. Go get Will, go get Will. He has the mic in his ears. Where's Will? Where's Will? Blah, blah, blah. He's looking for Will, goes looking for Will. And then that's when he's like going into Dwayne Martin, like, to see, all right, where's Will? Like, his car is here. And he walks in on Dwayne Martin and Will Smith having sex. He said he froze, and immediately after he froze, he will, like, basically they were like, shut the fucking door. And like, when he froze and he just like backed out, like he just backed out the room and stuff like that. And yeah, he said Eddie Murphy even caught a stray here, where I guess there was allegedly some rumors about Eddie Murphy dating a transgender, or not even dating a transgender. Let me say exactly. I guess he got oral sex from a transgender. And he said basically Will Smith threatened him, saying, "Hey, look, you know what you've been hearing about what happened with Eddie Murphy and that transgender, right? That transgender wanted to go do an interview and talk about Eddie Murphy and what him and Eddie Murphy got into, and he showed up dead. So be mindful, like, he talked about Will Smith wanting him to sign some papers that day, but he ended up leaving, and all of this, right? Now, he also made some other threats to Will Smith also made some other threats to Brother B when Brother B walked in on Dwayne Martin and him, saying that basically, hey, you see the same thing how I ruined the first on Viv on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air career, I'll ruin yours as well. Like, so Will Smith was basically threatening him so that he would shut up about what he saw. So he said how, because he said he left the set that day, and him and Will stopped speaking. He said how him and Will got back to speaking was Jada called him and invited him out. Initially a couple times he didn't go, but I think he ended up going or something like that, and then him and Will got connected again. He said basically Jada really didn't want Will Smith around people who had street smarts to see through Jada bullshit, because he didn't want Jada didn't want people he didn't want people influencing Will Smith about her. um and him and Jada also had their own problems. He said that basically now, after him being officially away from not working for them anymore, they have a new employee. As they employ people and stuff like that, what they do is they send them into rehab and make it seem as if they're paying for this person to get off drugs, and this is so they can discredit the person, just in case, oops, just in case that person decides to um not abide by their NDA. He alleged that Jada Pinkett Smith would have these credit cards and she'll let the person go shopping, report the credit card stolen. So it could be like this person is a thief, just in case this person does speak out later on in life. She'll try to ruin their reputation with the false evidence that they've planted. They'll set up like video footage, like if you want to work for them, you have to like pretend to like steal something on video, and it'll be like they caught you stealing something, and this would just be a way, if you ever speak out and go against your NDA, for them to ruin you and discredit you. And this is the one that really got me, because remember, this interview was recorded and done, right before Tasha K put out that trailer. When she put out that trailer and it went viral, the first thing Jada Pinkett Smith wanted to do was discredit him, right? Was to say, hey, look, it's all a money grab. He's upset about some shit that happened the other day. That's why he's doing all of this. Not saying Brother B isn't upset about his money. He's upset about his money, but don't trivialize it and make it seem like, that's all it was, and everything that makes everything he says not true. So there's that element there. They have a lot of things going on. So if you ever want to work for the Smiths, just keep that in the back of your mind, that hey, you're gonna have to shut the fuck up, because they're gonna shut you up. Let's see. So the fallout between Brother B and Will Smith came from his book tour. Because even on Will Smith book tour, which was like just the other day, maybe a year or two ago, but just the other day, where the guy Brother B was literally at the book show, and what he said was basically he was hired by the Smiths to do what he does, because now I guess he connects brands to celebrities, influencers and stuff like that. And he was working with the brands, and he ordered something 100K. He ordered product basically he ordered product for the Will Smith's book release thing, and they later on told him no, they're not going to go with that anymore. The thing is, he had already ordered the product, so it's like, who's going to pay for this shit? And when Jada would control everything, and Brother B would like reach out to Will and be like, hey Will, this is what your wife is doing. You and I, we've been close for some years, like intervene and like get Jada on a leash, quote unquote. Not those words, but get Jada, like, like on the same page, because of blah blah blah. Basically, Will ignored his calls and everything like that, which kind of made him feel the type of way, right? I'll be hurt. My friend, my assistant, the person that I've been rolling with for damn near 40 years, like, I'm doing something they reach out to me to do something. This is what I do in the industry. You tell me to do what I do. I'm doing what I do. I order all this freaking product just for you to tell me later on that you don't want to work with it anymore. You're not going to compensate me. They're like, I feel like that would definitely hurt me. It probably would make me sit down and do an interview and expose all your garbage, but it would hurt me. So I can understand where the guy is coming from. So I guess that's what Jada Pickett Smith was referring to when she said, "Oh, it was a money grab," right? But that doesn't negate everything else that this man has said. He talked about Jada Pickett Smith having sex with Mark Anthony, which at the time was J Lopez's husband. Um and basically Will Smith, she did it on the movie set, and she also brought it home, and Will Smith caught her having sex with Mark Anthony. He basically went off and stuff like that, and he kind of like derailed a little bit in terms of Will Smith and his mental and emotional health. He became suicidal, and then basically he quote unquote fucked Jada up. Like, when I say fucked Jada up, I mean real bad, because of this Mark Anthony situation, to the point where they had to build a small hospital room in their house so that she can receive the treatment that she needs. He even alleges that Mark Anthony Jada Pickett Smith issue is why J Lopez and her husband Mark Anthony had gotten divorced. All I tell you, people are just catching strays. But he talks about that as well. He said basically Will Smith is okay. They have this triangular relationship allegedly, where Jada and Will can invite other people into their bedroom, into their life, but they can only do so together, right? However, he says that Jada Pickett Smith has a tendency to allegedly go outside of that and have sex with other men, which would piss Will Smith off, because he's like, "Hey, we're doing this together." He says, "Look, they invite other men, other women. They do not discriminate into their bedroom." However, Will just has an issue with her going off and doing it on her own. So, um, he does make the allegation that Will and Jada wanted to have sex with J Lo and Diddy. Um, he alleges that Dwayne Martin is also a woman beater, and he talks about Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin, Will Smith, and Jada Pickett Smith, as in how Dwayne Martin, Will Smith, Jada Pickett Smith turned their back on Tisha Campbell and all of that. So basically, this interview, like, it took me 40 minutes to dissect this interview, and it was a lot. He said a lot, and it makes you think a lot, right? Because imagine you living a normal life just for Hollywood to be living this different kind of life, and because they're the ones in control, they plaster shit in front of your face, and now it be like, I don't even want to. But all I gotta say is, however the cookie crumbles as it relates to Will and Jada, they need to get their shit together. It's either y'all are gonna tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, or you guys are gonna shut up. Right? I'm tired of seeing the Smiths, and this is not to come at them. This is just to be authentic. Like, if you say, "Hey, we want to be authentic with our audience. We want to let our audience know that, hey, it's not always sugar and cream when you've been married for as long as Jada and Will have been married." Show us the whole thing. Show it to us. Tell us all of it. And if you're not gonna tell us all of it, then don't get up on here and tell us half stories, and then get mad when somebody else bring the other side. You know. Now, how do I feel about this? All in all, I just feel like, hey, look, these rumors have been circulating for way too long. For, you know what? Let me sip some water. I just feel like these rumors, like, all right, so I'm Jamaican, hence the the shirt, the black shirt with Jamaican flag on it. And in Jamaica, we have this saying: if it no go so, it go close to so. So we say, like, if something we hear isn't like, if it's not true completely, they may be some merit to what's being said, right? And I feel like with all of this Smith, the Smith talk that's been that's been circulating them for years, I do feel like there is some merit to what is being said. But hey, we'll see what the Smiths decide to do. And I want to hear you guys' opinion on this, Myths, right? If you're watching this, how do you feel about the amazing interview that Tasha K did with Brother B? Because that's one thing. People like to discredit Tasha K, but when she sits down and does an interview, she does the interview. She does the interview. Not saying she was fully focused the entire interview. There were like a couple distractions, maybe like one or two, but that's there. Like, you're sitting down for a 2-hour interview. That's bound to happen, you know? But anyway, we've discussed the Smiths long enough. Let's just move on and wish the Smiths the best. I just wish that, hey, these two can live their authentic truth. If you guys are swingers, swing away. If you guys want to do what you guys want to do it. But just stop bringing half truths to the public and get mad when someone else shows the other side of the coin. Anyway, let's move the hell on because I gotta go to work in a little bit. All right. So you guys remember the last podcast episode, we talked about Keke Palmer's mom saying that Usher is potentially gay. Her exact words were to what's his name? Darius basically recorded Keke Palmer's mom saying, "Are you guys stupid? Usher is gay. Usher is gay." And she said that after her daughter Keke Palmer and her Keke Palmer's baby daddy had gotten into some public stuff as it relates to Usher. Now Keke Palmer's mom wants to address the reason why she called Usher gay. She said it was a lie that she told about Usher just to kind of get Darius to stop abusing her daughter. So she's saying, "Hey, look, my daughter is in this abusive relationship with this guy. He's pressuring her about Usher, and as she's pressuring him about Usher to let him ease up a bit, she says, 'Hey, look, the man is gay. Like, you're doing all of this and the man is gay.'" She said it was a lie that she told, and she didn't even know she was being recorded. Shayla Davis 135 says, "The lie I told about Usher was to get Darius to stop abusing my daughter on account of his jealousy. So I said he didn't like women for her safety in bold in capital letters." She continues by saying, "Everything else I meant with my chest, and I didn't expect anyone to hear it because recording me is illegal. I guess he is okay with jail, but I know that when he put his hands on my daughter," she said, "But I knew that when he put his hands on my daughter," she didn't continue there. I don't know. But anyway, she says, "He is still abusing her in all of this, trying to paint himself as the victim. Textbook behavior." Now, as it relates to Keke Palmer's mom, like, I do feel like based on the recordings that Darius put out of Keke Palmer and her mom, I do feel like, even though he didn't say much, but a little bit that I did hear in his behavior, I do feel like Darius is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, Keke Palmer didn't even know she was being recorded, and she's like, "Look, you might want to take some meds because you're not really thinking clearly." And I can see why they would feel like Darius isn't in his right mind. However, we also can't negate the things that Kiki Palmer's mom said, right? We have to, as people, even though we get angry, and when we get angry, we do say the worstest, the darndest of things. We do have to also have some form of self-control, even when, especially when you're at the top, because one little thing you say can literally erase it all. So I just feel like that should be a lesson to all of us. Always remember, when you are out, and it was even I think it was a lawyer on TikTok that gave this advice along the lines of, the minute you leave your house, behave like you're being watched at every single corner. Behave like you know that someone is watching you, right? And I think in today's society, we expect the privacy that older generations had with the safety that new generations have. Like, back in the day, you could be sleeping with the whole village and nobody know, right? Whereas in today's society, everybody and their mama got a door ring camera. The minute you pass the house, the fucking camera tells you, hey, you're being recorded. Some cameras that don't even tell you that you're being recorded. You're being recorded, and it's going straight to somebody's phone as they're sitting in their office or something. And you think shit's sweet, right? So I just feel like at the end of the day, just behave as if you're being recorded, and always be on your P's and Q's. Always be on your P's and Q's. So with that being said, I understand that Kiki's mom wants to clear this up. However, learn from this and let's not do that again, because I feel like it also makes Kiki looks bad in a little bit of a way, but not too bad because Darius is the main culprit in this whole situation. And I think the fans aren't going to switch from that, no matter how much he dangles other things in front of their faces. Now, I came across this quote, and it says, the older I get, I see exactly why my mama went into her room and just closed that door. Now, for people who get it and they have children, you get it. And for people who don't, I don't know what to tell you, but I totally can agree with this, reflecting on my life. Like, damn, this is what my mother did, what she did. This is what my dad did, what he did, right? But anyway, let's move on to Miss Carisha. So Young Miami and JT, the City Girls, sat down and they did like this, cutesy kind of game show thingy. And Young Miami was asked about, I think, the eight female women that she had worked with, and she neglected to talk about some of the top female celebrities, which had her getting a lot of backlash. Let's listen to what Young Miami had to say.
City Girls is all about female empowerment. Name 8 female artists you've collaborated with.
Lotto, Sierra, Lola Brooke, Chloe and Holly, and
wait, you got to count. Are you counting?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
It's how many people?
3 more.
Oh, Money Long, Kim Petras, and that's all.
One more.
I don't got no more.
Take a shot.
No, I think that's all the female artists.
No. I got Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
City Girls.
So people felt like she was being shady because it's like, how the hell did you remember all them other people, but you remember Megan Thee Stallion, you remember Cardi B, you remember Doja? Like, they're just like, hey, how didn't you remember all the big name girlies, but you remember everyone else? And Young Miami responded by saying, we literally had 30 seconds to remember the people we collaborated with in the spur of the moment. LOL. It was supposed to be fun. Y'all people really make anything. Shut the fuck up. Now, I do feel like Young Miami, again, to tie back into what I said earlier, if I remember the statistics right, and if I'm incorrect, I feel like the ratio is correct, but I think it's like 10% of the things that you say is verbal and 90% is nonverbal. And I think this was where people were picking up on her nonverbal cues to not articulate the big name artists that she worked with. Like even after the producer said Megan Thee Stallion, like if it was me and there was no beef between me and the Megan Thee Stallion, I'm like, oh snap, I forgot Megan Thee Stallion. I worked with her. She said, "Oop, okay, no problem. I'll take my shot." Like I just felt like it was a little bit shady, but hey, she said, "Hey, no shade, no tea." But we're just gonna keep a close eye on Young Miami. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into. You know what? Let's jump into it, right? So, according to the neighborhood talk, we're gonna move on to Coil Ray and Lotto. These two, they've been having this friends but enemies beef going on for so long. So, the neighborhood talk got this clip from the Angela Martinez show where she interviewed Coil Ray, and according to neighborhood talk, Coil Ray says that Lotto should make a better decision when she mentioned her name in her song because it wasn't a good look for little girls who look up to her. You see what Lizzo goes through, you see what I go through. We are people. So let's listen to her exact words.
Nobody's my friend. I know that whole thing happened, but yeah, like nobody should be mentioned in my, But is it because you're sensitive about it, or just because?
It's like okay. So this is how I look at it.
Not the.
I'm like, look, as Black women in the industry, the only way that the world is gonna go around in our world the way we want it to is if we come together. Dead ass. And if you're gonna be that person to speak about a body when we trying to stop, you know what I'm saying, and trying to just spread body positivity, and you see what Lizzo goes through, you see what I go through, like yo, like we're real people and we trying to change that. So I don't make it right for you to keep making it a thing. That's how I feel about it. You could talk about my body, but it's like when it's coming from someone that a lot of little girls look up to, and you feel me, a lot of people highly respect someone that's like, no, you have to make better decisions on how you want to handle your career. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, but no, I feel like, like I said, my pussy, yeah, I'm sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's my friend.
All right. I can get jiggy with what Coy Leray is saying in terms of, hey, excuse me. I can get jiggy with what Coy Leray is saying. Oh, this bun is twisted. What's going on with my bun on my head? Okay. Because I feel like in the industry, whatever celebrities do, however these movies are told, that's what the younger generation sees, feeds off of, and essentially become, right? So if we're body shaming fat people and skinny people, then it's just like kids who are fat are gonna feel like, damn, like I'm fat. People who are skinny is gonna be like, damn, I'm skinny. And she's saying, hey, promote body positivity. I get it, but Coy, like, I think we can move on. I think it's about time for us to move on from this. Be the change that you want to see, and you promote body positivity, right? But I think it's time for us to move on from the Coil Ray Lotto situation. Anyway, let's move on. So, according to the Jasmine brand, Ross Reed says that Dwight Howard garnished her mother's bank account. So this was like following the Dwight Howard coming out rumors and things like that. So let's listen to what Royce Reed had to say.
He garnished my mom's account. Yeah, because he won that judgment. Because I said Braylon was his son on Wendy Williams. That's when that lawsuit came out. Remember that $500 million thing? Yeah.
Well, but it's true. Why was it?
Because again, if I'm even in a room where somebody says his name, he could sue me for it. That's how it's that bad. But now that he's doing all these things, it's like, again, it's null and void. And I think he don't realize that.
Right.
But like, it really, that's the part that like, I think breaks me the most, because I was smart with my money. You know what I mean? So when he did that to my mom, it was like, who the fuck are you? Like, are you really this evil? You know what I mean? Like, and me and my mom had a joint account that I've had since I was in high school. So there wasn't even anything going in that account for me. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So, but since she was attached to it, they took hers. And my mom was a guidance counselor. You know what I'm saying? And then every time that she's asked him about it throughout these years, I don't know what you're talking about. I never did that. Yes, you did. Well, I don't remember that. Then give it back.
I was gonna say, did he ever give it back?
No. He garnished my mom's account.
All right. So according to the Jasmine brand, woo, Royce Reed is not holding back when it comes to the alleged drama surrounding her son's father, Dwight Howard. During part 2 of her sit down with Carlos King, she revealed that Howard allegedly garnished her mother's bank account. The act came after Howard sued her for confirming to Wendy Williams that he fathered their child. After she lost the lawsuit, he moved to garnish a joint account that Reed shared with her mom. However, Reed said she never used the account, meaning all the money in it solely belongs to her mom. So, as it relates to this Royce Reed Dwight situation, Dwight Howard situation, I don't have all the information as to their past and stuff like that, because Dwight Howard is not someone that I really keep up with. However, with just this 30-second snippet and this write-up, I'm getting the vibe that they're both wrong they're both wrong in a certain way, right? Just hear me out. Morally, Dwight Howard is wrong. Like, that's your child's mother. Yes, she did go up on Wendy Williams talking shit she ain't had no business talking. So in that, you're wrong. Like, I feel like there's certain grace that you give to certain people, especially when they are the mother or the father of the child that you have, right? Of your child. Like, so I just feel like there's a certain grace that you give to these people. However, legally, Royce Reed is wrong. If you get up in these people Hollywood ass industry, decide to sleep with, work for, conduct business with any of these people, right? And you say, I'm going to sign a contract to shut the fuck up, that's what you're legally bound to do. Don't start complaining now because you've spoken on some shit you had no business speaking on. It's like you go for a regular job, you say, I'm signing this contract to do this, right? And then now suddenly you go doing something else. And if you become legally liable, you're legally liable. So is Dwight Howard a dickhead for this? Absolutely. But was he like all the way wrong? Because I feel like that sends a message, right? When you're in an industry and you're powerful and you have money, you become a target for many people. You become a target for people who don't have what you have, but want what you have. And when you do become a target for these people and they see that, other people get away with playing with you, they feel like they could play with you too. But when you put your foot down and you be like, hey, I'm not gonna play with you, you make that person an example, and the others be like, nah, I ain't messing with this guy because this guy, he stand on it. This girl, she stand on business. So I just feel like they're both wrong in a type of way, but they're wrong differently. Morally, Dwight Howard do better, but legally, Rich Reed, you shouldn't have signed the contract if you couldn't keep your mouth shut. And that's what it is. Like, let's be for real. Like, we like to blame these celebrities and blah 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 and say, like, even we just spent like 40 minutes talking about freaking Brother B, right? Will Smith, former best friend / assistant. I just feel like, yeah, all this tea, it's all juicy, it's all good to see the person behind the facade that these people tend to put out. It's really good to finally see them for who they are authentically. However, like, if you're legally liable for some shit because you signed something saying you weren't going to speak, then that's what it is. You're legally liable. Like, it is what it is. You signed it. You know what I mean? But I just hope that makes sense. Like, I know it may not be the popular opinion, but it is what it is. Now, do we remember Draymond Green putting the other guy in a chokehold? Well, guess what? He got suspended for 5 games. He a little cutie. He in San Francisco. He a little cutie. Now I don't keep up with NBA as much as I do as I did when I was a child when we had Kobe Bryant around. But this guy, he's a little cutie. Let me keep scrolling before I get in trouble. All right. Speaking on the topic of, and that's going to be the theme of this podcast episode, speaking on shit you ain't had no business speaking on, right? Speaking on celebrities, right? As it relates to Michael B. Jordan, this young lady sat down and basically did a lie detector test saying that Michael Jordan isn't the best in bed. Now let's listen to the lie detector segment.
Is Michael B. Jordan good in bed?
This question is so messy. Oh my god. Oh, girl.
That's true. He's not my whole class anymore.
All right, so basically, this girlie is Brie, and I guess she had intercourse with Michael B. Jordan, and it wasn't the best for her. She did a lie detector test on this show, which confirms that, hey, it wasn't the most pleasurable experience that she had. Now, this is my thing. I think this is why celebrities do the shit that they do. Like, why is that information necessary for us to know? Michael B. Jordan, he's not that good in bed. Why is that information good for us to know? Now, remember, reputation is in the industry is everything, right? You have a bad reputation, people don't want to spend money on you. You have a good reputation, you're pretty enough, you're attractive enough, you're handsome enough, people start throwing bread, people start throwing coins. So you got to be mindful. If you, as a regular person who works for a celebrity, or you are a person who sleeps with a celebrity, like, you have to be mindful. If you don't want these celebrities suing you and taking you for all that you got in terms of your financial structure, then stop making these allegations against these celebrities that can fuck with their finances, right? Because it's like, yeah, like, I feel like, yes, like Jada Pickett Smith says, yes, it's okay for you to have your opinion. Have your opinion. You can't get sued for your opinion, for your thoughts. But when you start going to that line of expose, I'm exposing you, and I'm gonna now paint you in a picture that can, quote unquote, fuck up your future, fuck up your finances, fuck up your legacy. Like, them suing you at that point, like, I don't know. But I just felt like this was very unnecessary to say that Michael B. Jordan wasn't good in bed, because hey, he may not be good for you, but he may be good for someone else. Um okay, we're gonna jump into the topic. The yearly calendars that they be having, where it be like shit happen in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Well, in that calendar, we're going to have it Diddy and Cassie. Why are we gonna have Diddy and Cassie? Because Cassie is suing this man. All right, we're gonna jump into it. I know we're recording after the lawsuit has been settled, but we're gonna talk about this as it comes out, or how it came out. So boom, we get outlets talking about, OMG, Cassie files $30 million lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of years of physical abuse and rape. Says he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes while he recorded and forced himself on her throughout their relationship. Now, when I say Cassie was detailing shit, she was detailing shit, right? She started out with how they even met, how she felt groomed to him because of his billionaire status, and blase blase blah. Now, y'all might not like my um my opinion as it relates to this, but we're going to jump into this. We're going to dissect. So there's a lot of things she said. Now, I haven't read the lawsuit. I haven't read the different allegations that I didn't read every single that. I don't remember it was like 30 something. I don't remember how many, was it 30 something pages or 30, I don't remember how many allegations or pages it was, but I know it was a lengthy ass lawsuit, and I didn't read all the allegations that she made against Diddy. However, we've heard about some of them, right? And basically, she talks about being groomed by Diddy, feeling manipulated because of his finances and how he held that over her head, how she wasn't in control of certain things, how she felt manipulated, how he had her do all these different things, Google male porn, do like all the things. Suge Knight got involved. Look, she's releasing all the things. Now, how do I feel about this? Chess, not checkers, right? I feel like Cassie, let's be for real. I didn't read the lawsuit, but if I'm being for real, based on what I've heard she said in the lawsuit, I feel like Diddy, being the man that he is, hiring some good ass lawyers, can literally dispel everything that Cassie had in the lawsuit. Everything. I feel like if Diddy sat down, got some good lawyers, and been like, all right, well, let's point this out, let's point that out, let's do this, let's do that. I feel like what she already had in the allegations that she already made, Diddy would have won. That's just my personal opinion. Let me explain it to y'all. Let me explain my thought process. I feel like Cassie was just seasoning the meat. She ain't cooking yet. What do I mean by that? I feel like Cassie has been doing a shake. This is alleged. This is just how my opinion. So allegedly, Cassie has been doing a shakedown behind the scenes. Yo, I know some shit. I need my bread. You know how you fucked up, how you did me wrong. Let's just give me my bread. Let's go. Right? And we know who Diddy is. And I feel like Diddy is allegedly like, try me, bitch. Right? You know how Diddy is. And Cassie and her trainer husband is like, we're gonna go for this, right? Cassie does the lawsuit and everything like that. Cassie said, hey, look, I'm a boss. We're gonna just put the seasoning in the lawsuit. We're not going to say every single thing that we know, because if Cassie said every single thing that she knew, if she seasoned and baked the chicken, and the chicken was cooked, and she's like, "All right, here, serve it for everybody to eat," I feel like, and sorry, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, so why not just make metaphors as it relates to food? But if Cassie really like told everything that she knew, she would not have gotten that settlement. Why do I say that? I feel like this lawsuit was a shakedown. This was, hey, Diddy, you think I'm not going to do this lawsuit? You think I'm not going to tell all of the things that I've known over the 10 years? Okay, well, let me do step one. We're going to just file the lawsuit with the fluff. Let's file it with just some fluffy shit in it, right? To show you that I'm serious about this. To show you that if you don't give me the money that I've been asking for, I'm really going to dig up those skeletons. I'm really going to tell everything that I know. And I feel like that's how Cassie played it. Now, people are saying, oh, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. What else? So what? So what if it's a money grab? So what if she wants to be compensated for the years of trauma, abuse, and everything that she's been through? She's like, I felt played. Now let's play your game, right? And however the cookie crumbled between Cassie and Diddy, in the back of my mind, that's how I feel this thing has gone. I feel like Cassie's like, let me paint you out to be an abuser. And I paint you out. Let me tell the truth about who you are in terms of you being an abuser, you grooming me, and everything that you've done. But I'm not going to tell the real deets. The real deets come out if you don't give me my money. Because look how quick he settled that. Now we're going to move on to other things. But let's also jump into a not so favorable opinion as well. This is not victim blaming. This is not me not this is not me supporting Diddy and his abusive behavior. This is me acknowledging the power of accountability. In life, we can't always say, well, this person did this to me. Woe is me. Woe is fucking me. We can't always do that. Sometimes we do have to take accountability for our own actions and the predicaments that we chose to be a part of and why we chose to be a part of those predicaments. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. No one. Now, if that person's money and power made you do some shit, you decided to do that because of the person's money and power. Right? Someone could come here and be like, all right, look, I'll give you $1 million if you go do some shit. Right? Did that person make you do it? No. You saw $1 million on the table and you consciously made the decision. Now I get it. Being a part of an abusive relationship, especially understanding how big Diddy is, how powerful he can be, and how he, even if you do perhaps want to step away or say no to certain things, you may become threatened, or you may become hurt, or you may just suddenly disappear because of the money and the power. So I can understand why there were certain strategical moves made on Cassie's part, but let's not put the whole blame on him. Right? Let's just not. You stayed with this man for 10 years. And I don't like when women do that. Women will sit there with you 10, 15, 20 years, be complicit in your bullshit, and then want to call you out for it later. Don't be complicit in it and then later on want to say this, that, and the third. No, I don't like that. But we're going to dissect, right? We're going to dissect. So here are some people saying, hey, Cassie is everything Cassie is saying is true. According to the Neighborhood Talk, Kid Cudi confirms that Cassie claims that his car blew up right after Diddy's threats. He says this is all true. In one incident described in the court papers, Ms. Ventura says that in early 2012, Mr. Combs grew so angry about her dating the rapper Kid Cudi that she said he would blow the rapper's car. And he would blow up the rapper's car. Around that time, the suit says Kid Cudi car exploded in his driveway. We have to remember too. Let's really put our ourselves. A lot of times we like to condemn like old shit. And I'm not saying that Diddy blowing up this man's car and threatening him and doing what he did is correct. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is put yourself in the mindset of these people back then. All women wanted, like I remember growing up, all they wanted was a powerful guy, a rich guy who can take care of them, right? They didn't give a fuck about the moral compass growing up, which is why like there were so many men doing so much perverted shit. Like all you had to do was pay somebody's mother to do some shit and you would have access to her daughter. All you had to do was money talked and bullshit walked back then. You know what I mean? And that behavior was applauded, right? The bad behavior that we now, hindsight 2020, realize really fucked up was the behavior that people wanted, right? What was it? American Dream, the Frank Lucases, these powerful men who are literally stone cold killers are the people that these women wanted to run after. Women wanted the bad guys. These are the things. So this behavior, even though it's bad, people idolize shit like that. Gangster rap. They're not singing about kumbaya. They're singing about killing somebody. And that's what's been idolized. And we're gonna move on because I got a lot of things that as it relates to this Diddy thing, and I don't have much time, but I'm gonna bring it all together. Here we have 50 Cent. Damn, brother love, you out here looking crazy as a motherfucker. This is 50 Cent adding his 2 cents in. You know he
was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife and was like this. I was watching Puff.
So here we have another thing. Another resurfaced interview from Young Jock on Vlad TV where he made the allegations that she shaved her head. Let's listen to him.
Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that? Like, so when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman's side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie. I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm going to do. I was like, well, you make sure you send me a picture before you do that shit. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, She done shaved her motherfucking head. I'm like, that shit look good. When that shit hit the internet, boom.
She started a whole trend, man.
A whole trend, and I watched it happen.
She started a whole.
So I got so many moments and stories in time like this, bro. I could go on for days.
Yep.
So here it goes again. Again, I get it. When somebody is physically, emotionally, mentally abusive to you, you tend to do things at their request, at their beck and call. I won't get into the psychological effects that physical, mental, or emotional, spiritual abuse may have on a particular person, but let's just address that its impacts can be very detrimental, right? This is another interview here where Diddy's former girlfriend Gina claiming he was abusive. So it surfaces as these things related to Cassie's lawsuit came out. So let's listen.
He had caught me texting another man. We was in Miami, and it got really crazy that time. We was upstairs, and he had like, we were in his closet, and he like pushed me, and I fell to the ground, and then he like stood over me. So I was like laying on my back, and he stood over me, and he started like punching me like this. Like, he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head, and I was just like covering my face. And he did that, and then after he got done doing that, he like, because he was standing, his legs were like in between me, so he like stomped on my stomach. He had caught me texting another.
All right. So basically,
man,
Diddy catches her texting somebody else, and he abuses her, stomps on her stomachs, and do all these different things, right? Now we're gonna move on. All right, so Millie over at Mob's World says that Dexter James, an alleged former assistant of Cassie, collaborates claims made in the $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. His words were, "It's all true. I was Cassie's personal assistant, and I seen a lot during my days beside her. She was a very strong woman and deserves every penny. The things she endured, you could never imagine." So that's what he says. Here goes the Shade Room talking about Diddy being reportedly the subject of a secret NYPD criminal investigation allegedly involving sexual assault. All right. We have DJ Academics talking about, hey, why isn't everyone first of all, he talks about Saucy Santana here. He calls out Saucy Santana for staying quiet amid the Diddy allegations against the allegations that Cassie made against Diddy. He's like, everyone was talking about protect Black women. Now, where are you, Saucy Santana and Carisha, as it relates to protecting this Black woman, Cassie, who was saying that Diddy has been doing all these things? So everyone is kind of calling out everyone at this point. And I'm going to jump back into this Megan Thee Stallion later. I want to keep on the track of this Cassie Diddy lawsuit. And then after all of these, so basically, Cassie files a lawsuit. They got people reading the lawsuit. They have people talking about the lawsuit. They have people talking about shit ain't pertaining to the lawsuit. They have people bringing back up all these different things that he has done over the years, all these surface interviews, all these people that have been saying Diddy's a piece of shit for all these years, everything is bubbling up, right? And as everything is bubbling up, what happens? Diddy settles the lawsuit with Cassie. We don't know how much he settled it for, but he settles it, right? Which had a couple people saying various things. Hold on one second. All right. I don't have much time. I have like about 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to run through it in the next 4 minutes. So basically, they settle this, and after they settle this, Cassie is saying basically, I've decided to resolve the matter amicably on the terms that I have some level of control of. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support. Diddy says, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Now, there are other people, many other people talking stuff, the Joe Buttons of the world, everybody just saying stuff that I really wanted to address. But because we are on a crunch for time right now, I can't really address it all today. Most likely I'll address it tomorrow, and I'll even jump into the Megan Thee Stallion and the other people looks for the award show that they recently went to. But off of that, back onto this. There is so many moving pieces as it relates to the Diddy stuff. So many moving pieces. And I feel like, does Diddy use his money and his power to manipulate people? Absolutely. Has he done it? Yes, absolutely. Allegedly, how I feel, that's how I feel. But do I feel like he does this? Yes, I do. Right? Doesn't mean that he does it is a fact, but do I feel so? Yes. I feel like there are too many allegations as it relates to Diddy where people are saying he's been doing these bad things and no one is like, and it's like, it's just too many people saying these things. Now, let's address this. Why did it take all of this, like a lawsuit from Cassie, for people to take these allegations seriously? How long have these allegations been going on? No one cared. No one cared. Do you know how many different allegations they have against Diddy? Abuse, allegedly. Murder, allegedly. Rape, allegedly. I'm not even going to say the other one because I don't want to get into it. There have been so many different allegations against this guy. And for years, we've said nothing. Isn't that in some way, shape, or form people being complicit in his bad behavior? Like, I feel like, especially in the Black community, I don't know, but I do feel like back in the day, we all had a Diddy in the fucking family. The person who made it out, the person who had the money, who had the coin, right? Whether it was through doing drugs, dealing drugs, or dealing whatever they were doing, and they used their power and their money to get shit done. And when they used to get shit done, it wasn't nice. And no one said anything. Right? I just feel like, does Diddy need to receive consequences for his behavior? Absolutely. He's already paid Cassie her 30 mil, which I feel like right then and there, you got your 30 mil. Don't ever talk to me again. Like, your case is settled. I feel like And I feel like I feel like I'm being judged by whoever is watching right now. Like, oh, like, oh. And maybe it's just my own insecurities as it relates to me having a very controversial opinion on this. I'm not in agreement with those men who feel like what Diddy did was correct or whatever. I just feel like if we just sit there and take things and take things and take things and we're complicit in certain things, why when the tables turn we acknowledge someone's bad behavior but don't acknowledge how complicit we were in that behavior? Why? Because I feel like when you can acknowledge that, hey, I was complicit in this shit, that's where the true accountability lies. And I hope this shit makes sense. Like, I don't even know, like, put yourself back years ago. Women in society, I don't know about white folks, 'cause I wasn't really around white women, but black women at a point being abused by another man and back then was, sorry about that, was a trope, was a trophy. That nigga loves me because he hits me. Thanks for, like, it was like, yeah, he abused me. Yeah, I got a black guy. Yes, I have this. But at the end of the day, I feel like he loves me because at that point, there was a conflation of abuse being mixed with love. Right? And these were the messages that was being sent through all avenues. So I just feel like it's so much that goes into this Diddy Cassie stuff. But back to what I'm saying, I feel like her lawsuit that she presented, I feel like it was a very trivial one. I didn't read it, but what I've heard from it, I feel like it was very trivial one. You were in a toxic relationship with the billionaire. Let me tell you something. Bitches out here in toxic relationship for free. Right? Take accountability for what you chose to be a part of. Again, I feel like Cassie knows way more, which is why Diddy settled the lawsuit. He knew what was going to come. She started bringing up Suge Knight, all of that. He got Tupac murder allegations out there, rumors, and nobody ain't even doing anything. NYPD talking about, hey, we weren't really investigating him. A lot. So we now as a society have to sit with ourselves and say, hey, we've been complicit in Diddy's bullshit. Are we going to really hold him accountable? And how are we going to do that? And that's just how I feel. I feel like we've all been complicit. The Cassies, the Ginas, the fans, the people in the industry, and even fucking Joe Budden on his podcast. And I'll probably discuss this tomorrow. He's talking about, okay, well, when you're friends with someone in the industry, you tend to not speak negatively on him. Or wasn't him who said it, was somebody on his podcast, and how you might not hold your friend accountable for doing some fucked up shit. Let's address that stuff. It's the Cassies and the Ginas keeping their mouth shut for so long, not taking accountability, not doing shit what they need to have done to get rid of this person or to strategically try to handle their business. Why this person is still the way they are. It's the fans who heard about the people who were strong enough to speak against Diddy and the bullshit that he put them through. The fans who heard that and ignored that was also complicit in the things that Diddy have done. So the question I want to illuminate in your head, not whether Diddy's behavior in this lawsuit is correct, not whether it was a money grab for Cassie, not whether more people are going to come out and speak, whatever. As fans, how do we hold Diddy, and everyone else who have these allegations, how do we as fans hold them accountable and not be complicit, so that future generations can't look back and be like, oh, well, millennials and Gen Zs thought this shit right here was cool when it's not? How do we hold them accountable? And that's the question I want to pose to you guys. I really and truly, I have nothing much more to say as it relates to Cassie and Diddy. I feel like it's a bumblefuck that goes on between Diddy and Cassie because it's just so many moving pieces. And one thing I've learned is throughout my life, in most situations, especially when it's been a 10-year, 15, 20-year, brother B, 40-year relationship, you can't put everything on one person, bro. You can't say it was all this person, right? You can't. But anyway, I know I might get flack for this because I'm not on the oh my god, woe is me Cassie wave. And again, I'm not going to negate the things that Cassie has been through because it's very, very wrong. But how do we hold these men accountable? The Diddies, your badass baby father, your drama-filled baby mother. How do we hold these people accountable? Could we laughing at Diddy talking about Diddy when we got a Diddy right next to us? Right? How do we respond to these people's negative behavior? Let's explore the psychology of this bad boy syndrome that women have. Let's talk about it. Let's get deep into it. Don't just present me with some lawsuit. You want 30 mil. These are the allegations. Because I'm saying, that's why I started out. I'm like, yo, if Diddy had the right lawyer, not even had the right lawyer, if Cassie didn't know more shit, Diddy would have hired a lawyer to dissect everything that she said, and it would have been nothing. But look, argue with me in the comment section. My opinion is my opinion. And again, today is Tuesday, November the 21st. It's almost Thanksgiving for those of you who are in the United States and celebrate Thanksgiving. So we about to chum down. And while you're chumming down, let's have a discussion at the table with your mom, your dad, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers about what they accepted back in the day and all of that. Let's talk about it. Anyway, let me show y'all. If you have if you struggle with like your phone, like you always have to be on your phone, especially like when you're at work or you work from home and you're like trying to be productive. I did this new thing where I got this this wallpaper where it says put the phone down. Right. And I saved it as my wallpaper. So anytime I think to go and pick it up and go on TikTok, it'd be like, So that's just a little cool thing that we have going on with me. This is a life update, but I gotta go to work. So it was fun talking to you guys. I will be back tomorrow to dissect the Joe Biden take, and we're gonna go over the looks for that recent event that they had that I had to skip in the podcast. We're gonna go over some more things, but just know that I love you guys and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Again, I'm looking to hear your thoughts and comments. I do look at the comments that you guys leave me on these videos. Sometimes I respond, but sometimes I don't know quite how to respond, so I'll just drop a like on it. So just comment below, give me feedback, and yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's it. That's all I got to say for you guys. Laters. Enjoy your day. Bye.